Hey guys, so I keep trying to work on my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. rewatch videos, rediscovering Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but nonetheless I've got 2 recorded, besides the 2 that I've already posted, and I'm trying to record the 3rd and edit all 3 of them, but I don't get the time. Obviously, with WonderCon, there's gonna be a lot of news on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, it's just already started to flow in. I mean, we've got a lot to discuss. We've got an idea on where Season 6 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be located on the timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe when it comes to the 2 biggest events within the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far, them being Endgame and Infinity War. We've also got an idea on what the name of this new Coulson on the 6th season of the series will happen to be, or did we? And the reason I'm asking did we is because the name kinda goes both ways. It can go as a rank, or it can go as a name. It all really depends on how you look at it and how you theorize on said name. But alright, let's get started with the press release from the official Disney press release website, one that seemed like it was supposed to give us an idea on the upcoming season of the series, but rather gave us a summary of the past season, a general idea about Season 6, one that doesn't really add much to what we already know, and finally gave us the name of Coulson. Okay, so the press release reads, ABC's Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. returns for 6th season on Friday, May 10. It was announced from the stage today at WonderCon that Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will return for its 6th season with a special episode directed by Clark Gregg, Friday, May 10, 8-9 p.m. EDT on the ABC television network, streaming and on demand. Last season, the team leaped forward in time to a dystopian future they soon realized must be prevented. While facing multiple timelines and new enemies from faraway planets, they found family, friends, teammates, and the courage to pull off their biggest challenge yet. Their next challenge? Coming to grips with the knowledge that bending the laws of space and time may have saved the planet, but it couldn't save Fitz or Coulson. Now that last statement was extremely interesting. I'm going to discuss it in detail in a moment here, but here comes the part that's even more interesting out of this synopsis or announcement. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stars Clark Gregg as Sarge, Ming-Na Wen as Agent Melinda May, Chloe Bennett as Daisy Johnson, Elizabeth Henstridge as Agent Gemma Simmons, Ian DeCasticar as Agent Leo Fitz, Henry Simmons as Director, Alfonso Mac Mackenzie, Natalia Cordova-Buckley as Elena, Yo-Yo Rodriguez, and Jeff Ward as Deke Shaw. All of that is the part that matters though. The rest of the thing is about the producers, whom we really adore, but nonetheless it does not affect our storyline for Season 6. It's about the fact that the series is produced by ABC Studios and Marvel Television. But alright though, there are 3 major things to focus on over here when it comes to this press release or this announcement or this synopsis. Call it whatever you want to call it really. What matters over here is the things we need to focus on. The first one is a statement over here about Fitz and Coulson. Bending the laws of space and time may have saved the planet, but it couldn't save Fitz or Coulson. Now I'm not trying to prove a specific theory over here, but anyway, what I'm saying over here is that there is the possibility that our Coulson, the Coulson that we've known for years so far, since our man 1, does still live. Only, just like the case was with the Avengers, he has got to have died and then resurrected. So the butterfly theory over here does carry some water. Remember, in this statement, they do put his name along with the name of Fitz. Like their death is a common factor, but we also know that Fitz might have died, but he's coming back. The Icicle Fitz is coming back, and Daisy and Gemma are on their way to get him. But that is just 1 out of 3 points. The second point over here is all about Jeff Ward's character, Deke Shaw. Yes, we know that Deke Shaw is the character portrayed by Jeff Ward. What's new about that? Now there is this theory out there that Deke Shaw must have vanished following the death of Fitz on Season 5 and the change made to the timeline, so they saved the planet, that future no longer exists, and Deke Shaw should have vanished. This theory assumes that with the series presenting us on Season 6 with interdimensional travel, traveling across realities, this Deke belongs to another reality. But this Deke is out of time in general. I mean, it wouldn't make sense that this guy from another reality traveled through time to the past in order to cross realities to this reality to do whatever. Now, I'm generally not a big fan of plots of convenience, you know that about me since Season 5, since the killing of the Superior at the hands of Yo-Yo, and I know as well that the writers and the producers do not really rely so often on plots of convenience. I mean, it might have happened like, what, once, 2 times over the course of 5 seasons so far? Don't think they're gonna do that with Deke. Possibly Deke is going to be an anomaly in this timeline. That is really all I could think of. An anomaly from a different timeline that's branched on its own now and that continues, and that's according to the stinger with Flint and Tess at the very end of the 10th episode of the 5th season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But here comes the last bit on this press release, Clark Gregg as Sarge. Now this is a little bit complicated because Sarge could be short for Sergeant, and this version of Coulson that we did see on the trailer and on the sneak peek does seem pretty militarized. He does not necessarily have to belong to the military of a certain country, but nonetheless he could be part of a militant or militarized group and they kind of have ranks amongst them, and Sarge is one of them. It would make a lot of sense as well if there's mystery behind the true identity of this character, like hey Sarge, Sarge this, Sarge that, all the way up until a reveal is made as to who this guy truly is. Now that takes us back to something like the butterfly theory, or even better, the other theory that was presented by Hillbilly Author on Discord today, which is basically all about Sarge from the comics. Now Sarge in the comics happens to be a demonic hound who happened to have appeared on the pages of the Robbie Reyes run as Ghost Rider. I know, I'm getting all of you kind of excited over here, Sarge, Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, so maybe we're gonna see Robbie Reyes once again. I hope so. But for the time being, let's talk about Robbie Reyes and the Ghost Rider and more talk about Sarge here. Now, the character of Sarge from the comics would have to go through a lot of retcons and a lot of modifications from the comic book character in order to fit with Clark Gregg over here. There is also the chance that they do it in such a way that this Hellhound is basically able to shapeshift, transform into someone else, and he's basically chosen to transform into Phil Coulson in order to be able to do his job. Okay, there's another scenario as well possible over here. The scenario that's suggested by Hillbilly Author, and that one makes a lot more sense actually. Now Hillbilly Author's over here goes like this. The character has been retconned. They retconned the hell out of this character in order to make him suitable to end up being Phil Coulson after his death. So, pretty much, Phil Coulson died sometime after the end of Season 5, but then he returned as the series iteration of Sarge from the comics in order to reclaim those that escaped from hell. And yes, that would make a lot of sense. That would work with the Robbie Reyes trope, bringing in Robbie Reyes, and that would make him still our Phil Coulson, but not really our Phil Coulson, and that would also mean that the portal that we did see on that sneak peek from the premiere of the upcoming season is all about a portal either to hell or a demonic dimension. Now, unless Butterfly is another demonic entity and she's the one who actually resurrected Coulson, the Butterfly theory does not work at all. However, though, whether or not she did resurrect him, if this is Coulson and he's been resurrected, then the name Butterfly is rather an Easter egg or a hint to the mutant in the comics, kind of telling us this is actually what you're going to be getting with this new Coulson. But that said though, when it comes to that press release, quickly though, I want to talk about the timing on the timeline where the series' 6th season is located, and that's basically after Endgame. And that is based on what Jeff Loeb announced during the panel, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel at WonderCon. Will the series actually reference Endgame or be impacted by the events of Endgame? Yes, definitely it will be impacted, but the referencing, no, that all depends on how they manage the snap. Like, are they going to reverse the effects of the snap, or they are actually gonna erase the snap from the timeline? So if time travel is involved and they're gonna stop Thanos before he goes for the snap, that means that they are never gonna be able to reference it. You just can't reference something that's been erased from the timeline that never actually happened. Another thing though, when it comes to Jeff Loeb and WonderCon, is that he stated, "We're not ending, stop saying that." Now that happened to be a response to a question by one of the fans about the series ending after Season 7, no Season 8. Now I know that some articles made up rumors based on a simple statement made by Clark Gregg, a statement based on lack of knowledge, but then Clark Gregg went out of his way to mention that the 7th season is the final season of the series. The producers on the panel, though specifically Jed Whedon, did state that every season for them is a final season until someone comes to them and tells them, hey, you can do a new season. And that's basically when they go, let's call back the writers, let's call back the cast, let's call back everyone. We have got a renewal. Personally, I do think that the series will extend to its 8th and 9th seasons possibly, both of which will probably release on the Disney Plus platform. It's a good way to get subscriptions from fans who already exist for a certain series. It's a brilliant way actually. But in the case Disney Plus does not go that way, there's always the chance that ABC would want to keep it on air. I mean, think about it, they do have a stake in all of it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the only Marvel series, the only series in its genre airing on ABC. And at this moment, at the very least, ABC does not have a replacement for it. so they might want to keep it. Keep those people tuning in a few weeks a year, that kind of fan base, until something better comes along, something that they could replace this series with and still keep the fan base. But that being said though, my work here is done, so let me know in the comments down below how excited you are for the 6th season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the fact that it's premiering on the 10th of Melinda May, which is amazing, and of course your theories on the upcoming season in general, and on the name Sarge and the new character portrayed by Clark Gregg in specific. Now you can also let me know if you did like this video by dropping it one of those much appreciated likes, subscribing to this channel, and enabling notifications for my future videos, community posts, and live streams. But until the next time you tune in for another one of my videos, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in to this one, and have a great day.